Hi guys, in this video we will look at if, elif and else statements. So the topics we will be covering in this session are control flow, flow charts, and then we'll start with if, elif and else, and we'll be solving a few questions on that topic. So first we'll be looking at what is control flow. So in a program, your statements can be executed in many different ways. Till now what we've seen is sequential way, like you have statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Each statement gets executed one after the other. But there are many other ways in which statements can be executed. So this is not the only way in which statement is executed. So the first way, like I said, is sequential. So here you see statement 1 will get executed, then statement 2, and then you have statement 3. So this is the most simplest form of control flow. Normally your program control flows like this. This is a very simple program. You are just assigning 3 variables with 3 numbers. So a equal to 3, then b equal to 4, then c equal to 5 happens. The next kind of statements are selection statements. Now here you can see statement 1 and statement 2. Now both these statements won't get executed. Either one of them will be executed based on a condition. So you will have a condition. Based on that, either your statement, if it's true, your statement 1 will get executed. If it's false, your statement 2 will get executed. So if, elif and else will help us with this condition part. The next kind of statement is looping statements. So whenever I want to maybe have an operation occurring many times, like the same operation should happen multiple times, or the same statement has to be executed multiple times, I will be using looping. So we will be using for loops and while loops for that. We will be looking at for loops and while loops in later videos. In this session, we will be concentrating more on selection statements. Now we will be looking at what are flowcharts. Whenever I'm developing a solution for a problem in terms of a program, I should read and analyze the problem first, and then I have to find out like a step-by-step procedure to solve this particular problem. That step-by-step procedure is what you will call as algorithm. In order to represent these algorithms, you use flowcharts. You will have different shapes to show what stage are you in when you're solving your problem. So here we have 4 different shapes. Each shape depicts a particular stage. So when you're starting or you're stopping your process, you will use this shape. When you're getting data from the user or when you're printing data, you will be using this shape. When you're processing your data, any arithmetic operations on your data, that will come under this. And any decision making. So we saw in selection statements that we make a decision, based on that decision only we are executing the statement. So if the condition is true, we'll execute. Otherwise, if it's false, we'll execute another statement, or we'll not execute anything at all. So now let us look at a question to understand this better. So the question says you have to get the number x and you have to get the number y, and you have to find out if x is divisible by y. So what is the first step? First step is you have to start the program. So you have the start symbol here. Next step is you have to get the input x. Next step after that, you have to get the next input, which is y. So both this is involving getting data from the user. So for that, we'll be using the rhombus shape. The next step is you're doing a process, which is you're performing an operation on these inputs, and then you're putting it inside a variable called remainder. So x modulus 5. So you're finding out the remainder. Next step is you're checking if the remainder is 0 or not. If it is 0, then you will say x is divisible by y. So you'll print x is divisible by y. If it's not, and then x is not divisible by y, and then your process stops. Now finally we will be looking at if, elif and else. This is the syntax for if, elif and else. So first you have to write the keyword, then you have to give the condition, and then colon. After that, below this, whatever statement has to execute when this condition is true will come under this. Now notice it is not indented the same way as the if and condition 1. So you have to place this slightly indented to the right, so that shows that this statement belongs to this condition. So anything that comes, even if you have 2-3 statements that come under this condition, you have to put it inside this. Same thing for elif and same thing for else. Now this is a real life example so that you'll understand better. You know how traffic signal works, right? You have a red light, which means you have to stop, yellow color light, which means you have to wait, green color light, which means you have to go. So assume that you're asking a variable color from the user. So the user is giving you the color. This is how I'll check the conditions. So if the color is equal to green, so here I'm checking if the color is green, you have to go. Now if this condition is satisfied, you will not even go to these 2 conditions. Suppose if the color is not green and color was some yellow or something, it will go into this condition. So it will go here, it will see that it's wrong, and then it will come here. It will check here. If it is yellow, it will say wait. Now, what if the color was something else completely different, not green or not yellow, some black? If it's black, it'll go here, it'll be false. Then it'll go here, it will be false. Anything that is false in these two conditions will be coming here. Any color, black, red, anything other than green and yellow will come under this. So if you want to specifically say that no, that only when it's red you have to stop, then you can say elif color equal to red, stop. And then else you can say invalid color. So you can also do that.
So the question is, you're asking the user to enter a character and check if it is a digit or not. The first step is you'll start and then you'll ask the user to input a character and then you will check if the character is a digit or not. So we will be using the isDigit function, and if it is true, we will say the character is a digit. If it is false, we will say the character is not a digit. So for this, we will be using our if and else. And then at last we will stop. So now let us go and code this in the Python shell. So first I'll ask the user to give a character, and now I'll enter a character, say 3, and then I'll ask if character, if char dot is digit, then print digit, else print not digit. I've actually given a digit, so the answer should be digit. So let us see. So the answer is digit. Now I will input a character that is not a digit and I'll check what the answer is. So the answer is not a digit.
The question says you have to ask the user to input two numbers and an operator, and the operator has to be from this list. It should be plus, multiplication, division, or modulus operator, and then you have to calculate the result. So first we will make a flowchart to see what all steps we have to do to solve the problem, and then we will go and solve it in the Python shell. So first you have to start the program, get the input, the first number, the second number, and the operator. Now, based on this operator, we have to make a decision as to what result we have to give. So, if the operator is plus, it will be num1 plus num2. If it is multiplication, it is num1 into num2. If it is division, it is num1 divided by num2. If it is modulus operator, it's num1 modulus num2. Anything else is the invalid operator. We've already specified that the user should enter only any of these operators. So if they enter anything else, you can say it is an invalid operator. So you print the result and the next step is stop. So first I'm asking the user to input a number, then the second number, and then I'm asking the user to input an operator, and it will be from this list of operators. Now here I'm checking if the operator is plus, I'll add the result. Then for the next I'll use ELIF and I'll check if the operator is multiplication, I'll multiply. Same way for division and modulus. At last, if it's not satisfying any of these conditions, else print invalid. And then at the end I'll print the result. Now I'll enter the first number as 2. The second number is 3, and I'll give the operator as multiplication symbol, and I'll get the result as 6. Same numbers 2 and 3. I will try plus, and I'll get the answer as 5. That's all for the session. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.